I think we are the generation of innovators and changes and big changes. I feel like in our generation, we have had like Facebook and all these other great inventions from young people in our generation. So I think.
Wait, time out. Did you just say great inventions?
I mean, like,
honestly, I feel like we're disgraceful compared to other generations.
No.
What have we? No, honestly, what have we done? What invention have we done that can compare to the computer, for example, or that can compare to the telephone? Seriously, we've done nothing. All we've done is taken what already exists and made it smaller. That we can't live without.
Social media.
We can't live without it. Something we cannot live without. Seriously.
I feel like social media is an invention of our generation that will impact us in this world for a very long time.
And it compares to the light.
Well, I feel like sometimes this is how life works. You have innovation is an evolution, just like life. How mankind has evolved. You know what I mean? Whether you believe in Darwinism or God created, either way, society that man has built has evolved each generation, and that's what it's about. It's not necessarily innovating, but it's renovating that which exists already. How can we make things better? How can we make it leaner? How, now that this has been set into place, now we have the phone, the internet. We have all these things that we can build on now, and that's what we're doing. That's our job.
But she just said that we're the generation of innovators. I mean, yes, we can build on things, but still, there's still a lot of rooms. Like, we talk about the future. Like, the future is not tomorrow, how the future is going to look, going to have cars flying. We've done absolutely nothing. I just feel like, for example, the Generation X, they came along, they saw the candle, and they made electricity. We came along, we saw electricity. Guess what we did? We made the lights brighter. We made the bulbs bigger. Like, what the hell? Jane, you were going to say something?
I think, as for innovation, I think, like I said in my opening statement, we don't work as hard as Generation X did. We just work smarter. We do have the technology. We're just using it to advantage, to make it more efficient, making it faster and better. So I don't think there's much that we can, change or bring into this world, because a lot has already been done. We can just make it better.
One person asked, do you think that we are an extremely lazy generation compared to the previous generation? Because if you look at what's going on out there, and we also complain too much.
Our generation gets too comfortable too quickly. We're not hustlers. People talk about, hey, I'm hustling in the streets. But not really hustling if you're thinking, hey, I could be doing worse right now. You're not really hustling if you say that. I think our generation should be thinking that. I could be doing better right now.
I agree, we're to some extent lazy because we have all the technology to do, most of the work for us. But then to also some extent we're not lazy because like maybe our parents' generation, our grandparents, they had to go work in the farms and everything. We don't have farms to go work at, so at that level maybe we're not as lazy. But maybe we do get comfortable too quickly, like Moses says. But then also I think we really don't think 20 years from now what the decisions I'm making, how they're gonna, affect my life. We think for now and for
I mean, I just feel like we just live in a society that is just fast-paced. Like, we're always just moving, like, no one, honestly, I know people that are good people that will be great husbands and great wives, but they're just too busy. They're just too busy with careers, and there's, we're dealing with problems that our parents didn't have to deal with. Like, there's households with mothers that are just, handling all themselves. The divorce rate wasn't as bad as it is now, and I just feel like people are just living different lives, and it's a different lifestyle, it's a different culture.
It's a different time.
It's
a different era. That's why I was saying with the whole evolution thing, like, we have evolved, society has evolved, and there's no going back. So, and that's who we are. We're in a high-paced society. We're in a microwave society. Everything we want it now. And I think our biggest problem is that we're mostly, I'd say, more above lazy. We're impatient. And we want everything how we want it, when we want it, now. And when it doesn't come how we want it, when we want it, at the time we want it, we get upset, we get discouraged, and then we give up more easily than, say, our ancestors would, because that's all. They had to have patience. They didn't have calculators to the extent that we have them, now. They didn't have the technologies, they didn't have the computers, and so that is our biggest issue.
Moving to the lazy point, when something happened back in the day, it was a social unrest or something. People actually went out, on the streets and they marched. Today, what do? We tweet about it. Oh, make Coney famous. Right on Facebook, copy and paste on Facebook. Oh, let's make Coney famous. Catch Coney. Oh my God. Guess what? Today, Coney is still alive and roaming in Africa, still kidnapping and killing kids.
We are lazy. I agree with you, but we also got to look at the circumstances. Today's generation, how we grow up, most of our parents take care of us till we're over 18. A lot of people are over 18 and still living in their parents' houses. And I know a lot of people on disability that don't deserve disability. I know a lot of people on welfare that are not on welfare. So, we need to stop being babies. Get up, go out there, hustle. That's all I gotta say is get out there and hustle. We're just babies, cause we're baby from since we're born till we're like 30, and we're never gonna grow up. That's all I gotta say.
52% of American kids are fat. I'm not even gonna use obese, and the other 48 are scared to get trampled during recess. Like seriously, that's a big problem. And he's asking because we always scream about, oh my God, we're saying we want our kids to be in shape, but then we lie to them. He's not fat, he's chubby, he's fluffy. No kid, you're fat. Seriously, get off the McDonald's, get off the Burger King, do a fucking workout. Seriously, lose the weight, bounce your kid up down the bed if you have to. Slap that video game away if you have to. Put the kid. Seriously, we're too pampered, like Moses say. Selena, go ahead.
To some extent, it's also a parent's fault because until a certain age, the child does not have much control on their weight. It's what the parent is giving them. So if your parent is feeding you McDonald's or every day eating KFC or something, to some extent, you don't have control over it. And now since they're cutting braces and all that PE and all that stuff from school, you come home and maybe you have a nanny, or you come home, you don't even have...
Procrastinating. And like, you know what? I'll have a burger today, I'll work out tomorrow. You know what? I'll have a sandwich today, I'll work out tomorrow. Why can't you just work out today? Cut the burger out of your life. Just do something positive in your life.
But the burger
Stop.
is faster than making a salad.
Well, the problem we have.
We can talk about all we want. Oh, we're lazy. We have to look at the implications as to why that is. Whenever you look at an issue and say this is the issue that exists, you have to analyze it and break it down and say, why is that the issue? Why is that the case? It's a society. If society wasn't so demanding, people would stay home and cook dinner every now and then. People would go outside and play with their kids. People are too tired. Yeah.
Starting from January, when you go to the gym, what do you see? Everybody's there. Everybody's there, right? Yeah. Everybody's. You know what happened by February?
Less and less.
They're all gone, literally.
Life catches up.
So you can't blame. I don't care if Congress say that fat drinking oil is a vegetable. You still have to make the decision to drink the oil. I was a fat kid growing up, really. They used to call me B.I.G. because I was big. No, seriously, I was a fat kid. Guess how I lost weight? I used to chase the other kids around when they called me fat. And now look at me now, I'm buff. You know what I'm saying? So. No, but seriously, if you saw me, if you see my baby pictures, like Dr. Cell was one of the biggest babies to ever come out of a woman.
I thought you were a soldier too.
I was big.
I thought you were a soldier too.
So I was a child soldier too, but
Like we have like a rich country like America, people are born, like that used to cars, you're born, your parents have a car and stuff, so like, you just have a car, so like they don't exercise like other people from like maybe from Africa, like like seriously, like from Africa, like you're born driving a car. Listen, so you don't get a chance to exercise that much, so like if you go in Africa, we have like more people, they're not like as fat as like more people here,
I don't think they exercise in Africa.
Well, they don't.
They have to.
No, you walk all the time because like that's how you're raised up, Most of your parents like they didn't drive, like they don't eat this junk food, we don't have like Mickey D's in some other countries in Africa, we don't have like those kind of like junk food, like so that's how people are.
What
It
do you
just
think?
goes to all being lazy, you know, because people don't want to do anything, you know. They just want to sit there and just, you know.
And reap what we didn't
Yeah.
sow, pretty
Yeah.
much.
It's the
And I met a girl the other day, and she told me that I don't want to work because I make more money on welfare checks than I do working. So why the hell should I work? And then there's government housing based on your income. This girl, she paid $50 a month for a 3-bedroom apartment, and she still can't make the rent sometimes. How is that possible? And my professor told me yesterday that he used to own one of this kind of housing, and there was a guy, $12 a month. $12 a month, and he still can't make it some months. Seriously, Generation Y, how is that possible?
I think if you have something so readily available for everybody, then it's not worth the hustle. It's not worth working for. Like I said, school back home, it's not free. Nothing is handed to you. So you have to work for it. It makes it more valuable once you attain it. If I know I can just get through and I'll be getting a check at the end of the month, why should I work?
And, I mean, like, I feel like in any system, you're gonna have people that are gonna abuse it. Like, you know, I'm pretty sure that back in the day there was people that abused, you know, other stuff too. So I won't say like it's just us that. It's like it's our generation that's doing something so like, oh my God, you know, like this has been happening before, you know. And I just feel like, again, like just like Selena said, it's society. Like we put more emphasis on different things than back in the day. Like now it's getting quick money, fast money, the most efficient and smartest way. Like that's really what, like, you know, people strive for. Before it was like have a family or, you know, more different values. We have different values than our, you know, previous generation.
Our generation doesn't work hard
That much.
at all. I mean, a lot of people, I see people working hard, but
Not all of them.
not a lot of people.
Not enough.
Not enough people, yeah. That's the right word.
From one of our female listeners, she said something like some statistics shows that we're Generation Y, the ones before us are Generation X. In the next 5 years or so, there's going to be a huge shift in the workforce. Right now, it's about 52% Generation X and 25% Generation Y. It's going to shift to 50% Generation Y and 25% Generation X. Aren't you guys scared? Honestly, I'm scared. Can you imagine a bunch of selfish assholes like running the workforce?
Yeah, there's people who are in Generation X and baby boomers who are selfish mofos, people who are head of CEOs who you know, have all this money and they do all this have fraudulent activity within these companies. There's many things like that. Corruption's always going to be around. But I mean, I'm interested. I think we're hopeful. I do not think all is lost. I do think that we, on top of our society, we do have people who strive and who work hard. Not all is lost. There is hope. It's not a bleak.
I think my issue with it is when the shift does happen is our generation, we are so educated, but we're not learned because we just go through school and it's like, oh, if I ask you what class you took classroom, I said, what did you learn? It's like you really don't know anything because you just did what you need to do then. You had homework you got answers from somebody else, or you Yahoo to answer it, you know, you Googled it or something. You had an exam, you studied for it, you posited the material, you know, you learned it, and then it's like, oh, whatever, I don't care about it anymore. So I think at the end of it is we are very educated, but we're not learning at all.
That since we're evolving, we tend to do things a bit smarter or faster. But at the same time, I feel like it's a disadvantage. Back in the day, no one had a calculator. You know how to do the whole times table. You can multiply or add anything. No one Googled. You can spell anything. Today, if you ask someone to spell city, they're going to put in a spell check. Oh my God, Google, how do I spell this? We have become so dependent on tech. Can you guys imagine what can happen if for 1 week Google stops working? Can you imagine the chaos? Like this, we can't do anything even without Googling. If something happens to you, like for example, you get sick or you see a bump under your arm, the first thing you go Google, bump on the arm. And then we're so dependent. Even my phone, I can't live without this phone. Seriously, if I lose this phone, it's like the life. Like yesterday, I couldn't get any text. I was so like, oh my God, my life is over.
Yeah, I saw it on Facebook too.
I agree with you. Like we are definitely way too dependent on technology. We we're gonna get way too dependent to the point where we can't like function without and we won't. And you see it now, like people just like told you, if I leave my phone back in my apartment for like a day, yeah, like I'm like no, I have to go back. Like I will miss.
Who said something?
Yeah.
Oh, skip class.
I will go back home, be late to get my phone. It's that serious. And I feel like if we continue down this route, technology will be the fall of man. Like that will be.
It's gonna be a big.
That's what's gonna kill us.